Greetings, viewers. Chris here. Kaitlyn's next to me.
Hi.
We are going to talk about our time in Portland, ask each other a few questions. We have not heard each other's questions yet, and we are going to give answers to them. So I hope you enjoy the video. It was a lot of fun to make to talk about our time in Portland. This is Bad Sushi Day. Question 1 coming up next.
Question number 1. Take a million. Cut. Go. All right.
All right, Kaitlyn, we spent one whole day in Portland doing a pizza crawl.
True.
Do you think Portland lived up to its label as the best pizza city in America? That's part 1.
Uh-oh.
And part 2,
Okay.
what's one memory you have from that day that stands out that's not pizza related?
Oh, man. Okay. So, do I think Portland lives up to its name as the pizza capital?
Best pizza in America.
Best pizza in America? Okay. No. I think I like the pizza in New York better. My favorite pizza in Portland was the classic New York style pizza. So no.
Although you did really like the ranch pizza.
However,
that was thick.
I did really like it. So it was pretty darn good. It was definitely better than North Carolina, where I'm from, pizza, I think.
Okay.
All right, and one non-pizza memory. Can it be related to how I felt about eating pizza?
Sure.
Okay, well, there was this moment. We went to 4 pizza places total, and after the first 2, I had this moment where I didn't think I was going to make it. I was feeling very full from all the pizza that we'd had, and I think I'm going to remember that forever. I thought you probably could have laid me on my side and rolled me down a hill. My stomach felt like it was going to explode. And remember, I thought I was going to have to lie down and just take it easy. But then I got some fresh air, and I revived myself.
Okay.
Okay, what about you?
I'm going to agree with you that I think New York is still the best pizza in the country. But I will say, I think that the standard of pizza in Portland is very high. We went to 4 places, but I think in total we probably had about 5 or 6 different pizza places, and I think the standard, the bar is pretty high, and I think the floor is pretty high for Portland pizza. I didn't have a bad slice the whole time we were there. Shout out to Sizzle Pies for being a go-to all around the city.
True. We went there a few times, didn't we?
Yeah. And then the part of that day that stands out the most to me was, I think, right when you started to turn the corner from way too full, needing to end the day, to getting better, was we went to a sports bar where there were a whole bunch of people from a medical conference. And we sat at this high top table and we drank some club sodas and we watched playoff hockey and playoff basketball. And then you absolutely schooled me in the shooting the basketball arcade game. And I think that's what brought you back into shape.
Honestly, it probably was standing up and moving my body.
Yeah.
Just absolutely crushing you every time you tried.
Uh-huh.
Crushed my own record, too. Cool. Okay, you ready for my first question?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the single best and single worst thing about Portland? So it's 2 questions there.
Oh, boy. Okay. Another 2-parter.
2-parters. I love them around here, I guess.
The single best part was it's very walkable, and there were some parts to walk around, I would say, but we walked all over the city, from the southeast side where we lived to the northeast side to downtown to Pearl. So I think how walkable it is and how many different sections of interest there are, all these little main streets.
Yeah.
I think it's really charming. And most of the houses that you walk by are pretty charming as well. The worst part, I think, is these areas that you want to avoid, and they do kind of the issue is definitely dynamic, where even if you're away from the issue one day, I think it can definitely come towards you. We had a lot of broken in cars, including our own, on our block, and so there are definitely just some issues with poverty and homelessness that the city needs to deal with.
Yeah. Cool.
And you?
For me, single best thing about Portland, I think, was people always talk about keep Portland weird. And I feel like it was a very different urban city to anything that I'd ever been to. Having all those main streets with little restaurants, every restaurant was delicious that we went to. And just like all the local shops, you won't see a chain unless the chain is local to Portland in that city, I guess. And I thought that was really incredible. I really liked that aspect of it. I didn't expect to like that as much as I did, but I really did. It grew on me as we were there as well. I think the single worst thing about Portland, which I think has gotten worse since the pandemic, is just like the overall cleanliness and like the homeless situation in the city. It just makes certain areas a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit unsafe to walk through. And overall, the city is just a little bit dirtier, I think, because of it. And it's a gorgeous city, so I think, there's a lot of room for improvement on that front.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice architecture. Houses are pretty great as far as that goes. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready for my question?
Maybe, we'll see.
All right. If you were dropped into Portland tomorrow morning with nothing to do, no responsibilities, how would you spend your day?
I was dropped into Portland tomorrow, no responsibilities. How would I spend my day? Okay. I would go to the, I think it was called the International Rose Garden area. There was a beautiful, area with tons of flowers, including roses, that you could walk through. I think if you time that right with the roses blooming, I bet it's absolutely spectacular. And then there is what was that other garden there? We didn't go in.
The Japanese garden.
There was a Japanese tea garden as well, but we didn't go into that one. You had to pay for a ticket, whereas the International Rose Garden was completely free. And then if you kept kind of meandering around, there's some tennis courts and some other stuff to do there, but there is a really awesome walking trail, like a little nature path up behind the Rose Garden. I think I would plan to walk on that and see if I could get to a good view of either the city or maybe of nature, and then have a picnic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a great plan.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing nearly that itinerary as well. I really like the neighborhoods around the garden.
Shopping.
And but I'm gonna actually change it up.
Okay.
And do something that we had not done when we were in Portland.
Ooh, are we going down to the river?
We are gonna go down and swim in the river.
To the river.
Yeah.
That's such a big thing there. That's also very surprising. I feel like when it's hot, people go to the river there, and the river is Hood River.
Yeah, I'd take a cooler full of bubbly waters, maybe some floaties.
Absolutely.
Have a day out in the sun.
Whew, hopefully you bring some sunscreen too. We burn. Okay, cool. But originally you were going to say something like around the trail?
Walking around that area. Yeah, there are a lot of good neighborhoods. I think we also didn't really explore the Northwest too much. We stopped in and went to the Cullen's house, which is actually owned by the Nike sneaker director.
Yeah, and you can't see it from the street at all. So when we say we stopped by, we drove by the driveway.
Yeah, but we really only spent a morning in that whole quarter of the city. So I think I would go check that out too. I know there's a McMenamins there at least.
McMenamins, a hidden gem. Okay, let's see. What do I want to ask you next? Okay. What is the song that you will most closely associate with your time in Portland?
I think that I don't know the name of the song.
Oh.
Or
Are you
even
gonna
if it's
sing
a
it?
single song. I don't know any words either. It's not in English.
It's not in English.
No. So one of our traditions from Portland was to have tea time, which was an incredibly relaxing time at the end of the day, usually right before dinner, sometimes after dinner. And when we would do tea time or when we'd be getting ready for bed, you would play Enya music. So I think that's what I most closely associate with, and it fit the vibe of the apartment.
It really did, yeah. The apartment was very like cozy treehouse type vibe. I think that was actually exactly how it was listed on Airbnb, was cozy treehouse.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, shout out Dad for letting me and raising me on some Enya growing up, because otherwise we would have had no idea it existed. For me, I think the song was that George Harrison song.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take money. What song is that? What's that called?
Set on You. Set on You.
Got My Mind Set on You by George Harrison. That was a big song that we would play when we got off work.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cool. All right. Next question.
All right, I have one more for you. Last one. Do you think that there are more breweries or coffee shops in Portland?
Oh, that's tough. If you haven't been to Portland, it's hard to understand. But if you have been and you've noticed the quantity of breweries and coffee shops, you'd be amazed that they all stay in business. But they do. Big brewery and coffee culture there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think I'm going to say that coffee shops hedge out breweries. Do you have the numbers on this one?
I don't. Maybe we should look that up.
Well,
we'll do another segment where
yeah,
I look that
we
up.
might have another segment where we look that up. You have to guess first, too.
Okay.
Do you want my explanation of why I picked coffee shops?
I do.
So I picked coffee shops because I feel like the coffee culture there is something that I had heard about before I went. And there is a lot of, like, reading culture there because of Powell's books and other like bookstores around the area and in the city. So I think, what goes better with a book than a cup of coffee? That's my thinking. And I'm also thinking about like mentally walking the streets, and I think there were more coffee shops right near us than bona fide breweries.
Okay. I think there are more coffee shops as well.
Oh.
My logic is that I think everyone in the city drinks coffee and drinks beer. They must.
They must.
But if you think about what you do at a coffee shop, is you might see someone meeting someone for work or lunch or something like that. But typically, it's just going on your computer or bringing a book and going solo to the coffee shop. And so I think by sheer amount of space needed alone, you would need more coffee shops to suit each person at their own table than you would need for breweries, where that's more of a social experience, where you're definitely going to have a group of people sitting at a table. So less breweries needed.
Okay. Interesting.
But the best places are the coffee shops in the morning, breweries at night. It's an efficient use of space.
Have you seen that? Did you see that in Portland?
Yeah, Lolo Pass was that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Lolo Pass was that. That place was really cold, but good.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question from me, and then we will wrap it up here. Okay. I'm gonna go for something a little wild card here. What's something that you can do in Portland that you can't do anywhere else? I hadn't actually thought of my answer to this, so now is my time to think quickly.
Okay. Anywhere else, like at all?
Like
nowhere else.
Maybe something that you just wouldn't do anywhere else?
Okay. I think the one thing that I would maybe want to go back to Portland for that sounds really cool, and I haven't heard about this anywhere else, is they have a run it's a relay race that goes from Mount Hood all the way to the ocean.
Wow, picked the most hardcore Skux thing you could, huh? Okay. For me, one thing that I would be super stoked to do in Portland, like most days, that I feel like I probably wouldn't. It's not that I couldn't. I could, but I wouldn't do anywhere else. Is I would not mix and match patterns and textures of clothing and stuff. I think I would just go all in on like some crazy bright fun and kind of a little bit off the beaten path clothes.
Okay.
I'd get back to my
Makes
4-year-old self.
Yeah.
Um,
No one can tell you what you can't wear.
Nobody. Absolutely nobody will. You could see in just one day walking in Portland, some people dressed up in some wild outfits. And I don't mean like, you know, wild in any sense, like negative sense of the word. They were just patterns on patterns on patterns that really conflicted with each other. And I was like,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Walk to the beat of your own drum.
You do you, boo. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah, good questions.
Cool.
Good answers.
All right. So we're wrapping this one up. You want to wrap it up? Putting you on the spot.
Wrapped its bow on it.
Oh, he wraps it with a bow on it. Well, you heard it here first. If you like this content and you like this discussion about Portland, be sure to visit us at badsushiday.com and like and subscribe so you can be the first to hear about new content. What do you have to say, Chris?
Peace out.
Peace out.